Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you everything Pokemon. It's Monday again today, which means we're delving back into that Monotype tier. This week we've got a Metal team, as you can see, and I'll give you a quick run through the team and we'll head straight into it. So first of all we've got a Assault Vested Empoleon, very nice, very bulky. Good coverage moves, including that HP Grass in case we come up against water teams. Choice Scarf Heatran, again, a lot of coverage there. We've got an Eviolite Doublade, Rest Talking, fully defensive, HP invested. We've got a special Ferrothorn with our rocks, those seeds, and the knockoff as well. With that Rocky Helmet for those sort of things that the physical attackers that want to come in, Ferrothorn can make them want to switch back out, I guess. We've got a Mega Sizzle with that Bullet Punch, Bug Bite as well with Sword Dance and Roost. And finally we've got this Klefki with the Light Clay, both screens, and also dual status with the T-Wave and the Toxic there as well. So let's get straight into it. It's a pretty bulky team, especially when we get our screens up, and it's normally enough to win us a few games. So here we are against a Dark team. Very interesting. Let's see who he's going to want to start off with here. Could be a Mega Absol, more than likely. Could also be the Mega Houndoom. And who should I lead with here? Klefki's the standard lead. I feel like I'll go with him to start with anyway. He does indeed end up going with a Houndoom straight away. I'm going to try and get a T-Wave on it because it could be a huge threat to this team. He may not want to go for the Fire move straight away because we do have the Heatran. Yeah, he does go for that hidden power straight away. So that's great for us. We can also get a Light Scream up at this point and scout his moves. He does show that he has Flamethrower as well, so he's not choiced, which is very good to know. I'm going to go into Empoleon here, as he's paralyzed. I'm just going to go off for the Scald. Nothing really appreciates it on his team. Maybe the Cacturn. He goes into Greninja. We don't get the burn, that's not really a problem against Greninja anyway. He could go into a multitude of things here. I'm going to stay in, because we do have that light screen up, so we're fairly safe. And just go for a Hidden Power Grass. He just goes for the Grass Knot. Probably should have saw that coming, because now we're not doing too much to him. But him seeing that he didn't do much, he may want to switch. I'm going to go for the Ice Beam this turn. And we're able to take out the Greninja very nicely. Empoleon's still got a lot of HP left. We've still got our screen up. We're looking in a very good position here. He's got the Malamar, no doubt going to go for a superpower, I imagine. I'm going to go into Doublade to try and dodge that, as we do so very nicely. Now we can go for the Sacred Sword. Do a huge chunk to whatever wants to come in. Do a lot to that Houndoom. And now we can just go for the Sacred Sword once again. He outspeeds even though he's paralyzed. That shows how slow our Doublade is. It is a relaxed nature for extra damage on the Gyro Ball. This turn I'm going to probably go for the Rest here because he's more than likely going to go for the Sucker Punch. As he does indeed do that. Should never do that against a Doublade. So we rest and become healthy. We're now going to save Doublade for later. And I'm probably going to Ferrothorn here because Absols can be mixed. They can have a whole bunch of things going on. Could also be a Pursuit Trapper, but I'm not too worried about that. We can take a Pursuit. I'm going to go into Ferrothorn here. He goes for the Sucker Punch once again. Misses. I'm going to attempt to knock off as he's probably going to switch. Oh, he packs the X-Scissor, but that's not really too threatening to us. I'm going to stay in and just keep spamming knockoff, seeing as though he's revealed X-Scissor, it's not doing too much, and I just want to get rid of the Absol, really. Keep spamming that knockoff. If he wants to switch out, that's great, we've got a free item, but okay, so he just X-Scissors, and we're able to deal with that Absol, that's great. Ferrothorn in a bit of a pickle here. And I feel like I'm going to let Malamar get a +1. I'm going to attempt to Leech Seed as he goes for the switcheroo. Okay. Don't mind that. So we got a free Leech Seed off. Ferrothorn's still alive, so he can be useful elsewhere. So he was clearly trying to target our Doublade. I thought it was too obvious to go straight back into him. I'm now going to go into Klefki, who gets taken out by that superpower from Malamar. We're now going to go into... Could go into our Scarf Tran here. He'll just go straight into the Umbreon. I'm going to go into Doublade. Try and Sleep Talk. Something good here. He goes for the Night Slash. It does absolutely nothing. Doublade fully defensive, as I said. We Sleep Talk a Gyro Ball. Not going to do too much. And we get hurt by Rocky Helmet. But we do have those seeds to restore a little bit of health, which is nice. I'm going to try and Talk once again. He goes into Umbreon. We get the rest, unfortunately. This time I'm going to go for the Sacred Sword. Scout how much we can do to this little guy. We hurt ourselves with Confusion, so I'm going to get straight back out of there into Ferrothorn. As he goes for the Foul Play. Getting some damage on himself there. I'm going to try and get us... Ooh. I'm actually going to attempt the knockoff as he just finishes us off there. So he does have that Foul Play, so we have to be careful if we want to go with Sizzle. Let's just go into him and we'll go for the unboosted Bug Bite. Scout how much that's going to do. Does a whole lot of damage. So he goes for the Confuse Ray. I'm just going to risk it here and go for the BP. As he protects, okay. Should have seen that coming, really. He's going to protect that off, as we're just going to go for another Bug Bite. And we're fortunate enough to get it and deal with that Umbreon very nicely. And we're in a great position to win here. He's going straight into that Malamar. I'm going to go into Doublade. As he does go for that superpower. Once again, we catch him at the right time. We can go for the Sacred Sword here. Eat up a Night Slash real quick. Sacred Sword doesn't do much at all, actually. I thought it was going to do a lot more. We're going to be forced into the rest here. Getting nice and healthy. And we're going to Sleep Talk. As he goes for the Seed Bomb. And both of his pokes really can't deal with Doublade. Just way too bulky. But it's a case of now dealing with him. I'm going to go into the Heatran here to try and speed things along a little bit. He goes for the Sucker Punch. Not scared of that at all. We can just Flamethrower, killing off Cacturn, and we are Scar, so we should be able to outspeed this Malamar and win the game that way. There it is, guys. Game 1 against Dark. We did really well there, and the MVP was probably the Doublade. He really couldn't handle it, so that's good. On to Game 2. So here we have a mono ground team. Pretty scary, pretty threatening. I don't have anything on balloons or anything. Maybe a bit of an oversight on my part. No, not even a Levitator really. I could have a Skarmory, but I've chosen to stick with Ferrothorn and stuff just for overall coverage. I'm going to start off with Klefki, as they decided to start with Nidoqueen. I'm going to go for a Light Screen here. Nidoqueens are normally special because of their sheer force ability. Our opponent taunts us, so we're left to struggle now. Most likely going to go for the fire move, but it's pretty predictable. I could just go for the ground move for coverage, so I'm going to go into Empoleon here. He actually ends up switching out into Mamoswine. And the ground move really would suck. But I feel like he's just going to go for a rock, so I'm going to try and Scald here. He goes into Gastrodon. That's absolutely fine. I don't mind that at all. He probably feels safe right now, but I'm going to go for the HB Grass. Trying to do a good chunk to him. as we do indeed. We only do 46%, that's a bit of a shame. But that Earth Power is really not going to do anything, so he's most likely going to switch out. I'm going to try and scold something on the switch. As he ends up going back into the Nidoqueen. We do a good chunk to that and get a burn, which is kind of nice. And this turn I'm going to go for an Ice Beam. So he goes for a Focus Blast, and we absolutely eat it up. Nutritious, delicious, Empoleon with Assault Vest, eating up everything. He goes into Garchomp, looks like it's going to be a Mega. I really don't want him getting all too set up here. Let's go into Klefki and attempt to Toxic him. He's probably going to SD here. He goes straight for the Earthquake, which does a huge amount to Klefki. I'm still going to go for that Toxic now. Hoping to catch it so we can whittle him down. Garchomp is a huge, huge threat to this team. I have made this team before with a Skarmory. I've taken it out in favour of other stuff, but against the mono ground, you really want a Flying type or a Levitator. He does just continue to Earthquake as we are able to get Toxic off. I'm going to start off with a Protect. Get as much stalliness as we can do here. He actually carries a Fire Blast, which is very interesting. He may want to EQ this turn, now that he's revealed it though. I'm going to attempt to Seeds. He does indeed go for that EQ, thinking that we would go into Heatran. So now we have Seeds and Poison racking up obvious movers to protect here. Actually, we're not going to. Too obvious. Let's go for the knockoff and try and deal with the Gliscor if that wants to come in. That would be awesome. Kind of risky, but I'm going for it because the protect is too obvious, really. I'm going to start the timer as well. He does indeed do the switch out as we get a free knockoff on the Mamoswine, getting rid of that Life Orb. Going to continue to get some Seeds going. He unfortunately misses the Icicle Crash, as we do get those Seeds on the field, and he just forfeits. What a shame. I think we were doing some good plays there though, so he just didn't fancy carrying on. Let's get one more game in for Monotype Monday. Steel's impenetrable right now. Can anyone deal with this team is the question. Mono Grass team, very interesting. You don't see many Mono Grasses around. And it looks pretty threatening, in all honesty. God. The MVP of the team, I can already tell, is going to be Heatran for us. But we have to protect him as best we can. So I'm going to start with Klefki, as usual. He goes into Venusaur. I'm going to try and get our screens going straight away. He Megas. Goes for a Hidden Power. That's a good chunk to us. I'm going to get our other screen up. I probably should have went for the light screen first, seeing as though Venusaur hits on the special side. Regardless, we are able to get both up. I'm going to go T-Wave the Shaman Skyform. So he goes for the sub. I'm going to go into Empoleon here because we can tank most of Shaman's moves. Goes for the Earth Power, does absolutely nothing as you can see. And we can go for the Ice Beam, threatening this Shaman. Goes for the Seed Flare. Once again, we're tanking it. We get the Spadef drop, which is a bit of a shame, but we can outspeed, so he's going to be threatened out here. He goes into Venusaur, eats it up, as all Venusaurs do. And we're going to go into Sizzle here and try and get a setup going. Behind those screens, we should be safe from the Hidden Power for at least one SD. Yeah, we tanked that very nicely. Get a Sword Dance going. Reflect goes. I'm going to go for the Bug Bite here. Scout how much it does. Does a great amount to that Venusaur. That's fantastic. Go for the BP now. And Venusaur is gone. That is fantastic. And we get another forfeit, okay. Let's get one more in then. Can't leave you with 2 forfeits, that's just sad. Oh good, we get a game straight away. And we're against a poison team. Looks like he's using another Mega Venusaur. We're going to have to do that sizzle trick again, I think. Regardless, what's our opponent going to start with? I'm going to start with... Klefki... No, let's start with Heatran. He starts off with Ball, the Wheezing. Great name for a Wheezing. I'm going to go for a Flamethrower straight away. As he goes for the Pain Split. I'm just going to continue to Flamethrower. Not a lot of his team really appreciates it, so... Yep, we deal with that coughing straight away. Nicely done, Heatran. Our opponent now goes into Scolipede. I'm going to continue to Flamethrower. He protects to get the +1 speed, of course. He could be a baton passing set. He could also just go for the EQ here and wreck my soul. I'm going to stick with the Flamethrower here, as he does indeed go for that Earthquake, which is a bit of a problem for us, really. How can we handle this? I'm going to go into Doublade because Gyro Ball is going to do a hell of a lot to this guy now. Let's go for it. He goes for the Mega Horn, which has a big old 5%. That is embarrassing. He continues to raise his speed. I'm going to go for another Gyro as he protects. That's just going to make our attack stronger. And if he wants a Baton Pass now, all of his team are going to have a +3 boost. So Gyro Ball is going to do a hell of a lot to whatever he does. The EQ does a measly 24%, and Doublade wins out on the one-on-one against the bug type thingy, Majigga, whatever it is. Whatever it's called, I've completely blanked it. Scolipede, there you go. He brings in his Rhino. Could go for the fire or the ground move, both are pretty strong here. I'm going to go into... Tricky, let's go into Empoleon. He goes for the Fire Blast. I'm going to go for the Scald here. I would love to get a burn on this guy. Unfortunately, not able to. Now I'm going to go into Ferrothorn. Eat up whatever he wants to do. Goes for a Thunder Fang. And he gets a whole lot of damage from that. I'm going to attempt to get some rocks going now. He goes for the knockoff. Doing some more damage to himself. Now I can go for a knockoff of my own, as he just goes for the EQ. Oh, and we're not able to take him out. That's a bit of a shame. I'm going to try and get some seeds going. We miss. Again, a shame. Let's just go for the knockoff then. Ferrothorn now been whittled down to a measly amount. Bit annoying, but nothing you can do really. I probably shouldn't have leech seeded the last turn. That was silly. Our opponent is going into his Gengar. I'm going to attempt to knock off. I imagine he's just going to, finish us off with a Hidden Power. I'm going to go into Klefki now. Trying to get a T-Wave on this thing. As we are able to, which is fantastic. He goes for the Wisp. Trading some status. I'm going to go into Light Screen now, because all of his dudes are special at this point. No real point in getting the Reflect up. Let's switch straight into Empoleon. He goes for the Hex, as we can now go for the Scald. Do half damage to the Gengar. He burns us. And we can continue to Scald here. Taking out the Gengar. Empoleon really is a beast in this team. He goes into his Mega. I'm going to attempt to get a burn here. That would be absolutely lovely. He goes for the seeds. Burn, burn, burn. Nope, not able to. Let's try it again. He's probably going to Giga. Yeah. That does nothing. That did less than Leech Seed. That's ridiculous. Empoleon tanks it, but goes down to the burn and Leech Seed combo. We can go into Sizzle here. Set up a Sword Dance. And if he's going to be nice and Leech Seed us like that, we can go for another one. He goes for the EQ, which is nothing to us. And let's try Bug Bite now. 94%, that is huge, huge damage. We can finish off the Venusaur with a BP, and also the Nidoking should go down to the punches. Sizzle, yep, cleans up, gets a sweep. So, undefeated Monotype Steel team. Pretty good week for us, guys. Leave a suggestion of which team you want to see down below. I've got a whole bunch lined up already, but whatever type you want, I will do. So see you next Monday for another Monotype Monday team.